Hey you guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to share with you my minimalist newborn essentials or must-haves. Now, let me just say up front that this is gonna be different for everybody. Everybody's life is completely different. Every mom has different needs and every child is a little bit different. I'm filming this right before I give birth to our second baby, but these are things that I know were really helpful for me with Eli, and I plan on utilizing them again. But my list may not be your list, so just keep that in mind, and maybe you'll get some ideas in this video that will be helpful to you if you're kind of in a minimalist mind frame. I truly believe in hand-me-downs, and I've been really fortunate to have been gifted a lot of these things while I was pregnant with Eli. So I'm all about hand-me-downs. I'm all about gifting and repurposing and reusing. And so really, I think I've only bought one new thing that I'm gonna talk about here, but the rest are things that I had or were given to me or are hand-me-downs. And that's truly the way to go. Babies grow so fast, especially out of this newborn phase. It's like a snap of a finger and they're all of a sudden too big for everything. So for me, it doesn't make sense to spend a lot of money on newborn things or even baby things in general. You don't need a lot, especially a newborn needs its mom. It needs to be close and it needs to be cared for. That's really what is essential for a newborn. So newborns are actually minimalists themselves. I'm curious, let me know your essentials for newborns down below and what you find essential. Are there any things on my list that are on your list? Or is your list completely different? I'm always really curious to know. If this is your first time coming across my channel, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you know when I have new videos coming out. So although it doesn't have the best ring to it, I have 12 things that are newborn essentials for me, coming from a more minimalist mindset. So let's get into it. The first thing that I have is this travel sleeper. Initially, I wanted to get like a DockATot or something like that, but I just found them to be so expensive. So somebody had gifted me a gift card, and this is what we bought, and it works great. We had Eli sleep in probably for like the first 6 to 9 months of his life. He slept in our bed within this little travel sleeper bassinet, and we're gonna use that again. But we had been gifted a crib mattress, which we barely used at all. Eli mostly just played on it as an older child, but Chris built a little bed frame for that. We've put that right next to our bed. Sleeping in this little travel bassinet, I can pull her close or move her a little bit farther away if I need to. There's just a little bit of extra padding on there. She's on a firm surface and she's surrounded with this mesh material, so I can see through and see how she's doing without having to be worried about anything obstructing her while she's sleeping. It's a very safe way to have a baby sleep, and of course she's gonna be right next to me, which I absolutely love and adore. And then if we need to travel anywhere, it actually just folds up and I can use it pretty much anywhere we go. If we go to an Airbnb or if we go to somebody's house and she needs to take a nap, I have this little bed with me. It's been a really helpful thing, and I'll link it down below if you are interested. I actually prefer it better than I think I would have had I bought a DockATot or just one of those kind of like pillow baby sleepers. I really, really do enjoy it. It's nice and flat and it gives me peace of mind, and you can travel with it. The next thing that has been really important to me is carrying my baby. I've done a lot of research on the fact that carrying your baby is actually a really wonderful thing. Having the baby skin to skin with you is such a good thing for the baby, for your bonding, for your breast milk production, as well as just their sense of well-being. You have to remember, a baby has been growing and all they know is being inside mama's belly for 9 months. And so when you suddenly just take them away from you, it's a little bit jarring for them. So I strongly believe in baby wearing or baby carrying as much as possible. And it's really easy to get things done once I'm able to get up and get around and move around and strap the baby into the carrier. I'm able to have my hands free. I can still be with Eli. I can still do the dishes or, you know, do whatever I need with 2 hands, and the baby is nice and snuggly next to mama. She can take a nap or she can just be feeling very secure. So the thing that I did buy was an infant insert for my Mia Millie carrier, and I love this carrier. I didn't find out about this carrier until Eli was probably like a year old, but it has been the best carrier. It doesn't hurt your back. There's a little seat on it so that the baby or the toddler can sit. You can wear it in front, you can wear it in back, you can wear it on the side. There's all these different attachments. It really has been great. We've used it for hiking. We use it in the airport constantly. We even used it when we recently went to Hawaii a few months ago, right before all the COVID stuff started happening. And Eli was pretty big, but still, it's a really great way to have your hands free. You can still hold your luggage and roll through security and have your baby or your toddler strapped to your chest or your back, and it's great. But this infant insert will allow me to continue to use that carrier again but I will be using it for a newborn and it should be working just fine. It's really high quality. I really love it. Yes, it was a little bit of an investment when I bought it up front, but the fact that I'm gonna be able to use it for 2 babies makes it 100% worth it, especially with how much I used it for Eli. I imagine I'm gonna be using it just as much or even more this time around. The next thing for me are swaddling blankets, and boy, do I have a lot of these. A lot of them were hand-me-downs or gifted to me, and I have maybe 1 pack that I bought by myself, but I love the idea of swaddling. If you don't know what swaddling is, there's this reflex that babies have, especially as newborns, where they kind of startle or their hands will just, fly up. And it wakes them up. So swaddling helps keep their hands by their body, but still keeps their legs able to move a bit and their hips free, so that they're able to calm down and just really be able to sleep better. Swaddling was a big thing for Eli. Not every baby loves to be swaddled, so I'll find out with our new baby if she does or not. Even if you don't swaddle with them, they're so multi-purpose. You can use them to wipe things up if you don't have a towel with you. You can use them to just snuggle with your baby. You can use them as a light covering if they need to be covered while they're sleeping. Of course, not close to the face, but I love swaddling. It really helped with Eli. Another thing kind of connected to swaddling is a sleep sack, which I used later with Eli. Because we do the diaper-free method, I like swaddling better than I like the sleep sack, and that's only because if the baby goes to the bathroom, I can quickly change out one swaddle for another. If you're not doing diaper-free, then a sleep sack is great, especially in the winter because it's cozy, they've got their arms out, their legs are in the sleep sack. You don't have to worry about a blanket or be concerned that a blanket's gonna get on their face or anything like that. You just zip them into this sleep sack and they're good to go. I used a sleep sack with Eli when he got a little bit older and when he was more used to giving me signals of when he needed to go to the bathroom so it wouldn't get wet all the time. The next thing, of course, is again tied to diaper free, and those are just having some waterproof pads. So I have probably 4 waterproof rectangular, this is not a rectangle, but it looks like, well, it's a rectangle. What I'm trying to explain is a rectangle. I have like 4 rectangular waterproof pads that I use with Eli. They're still in great condition and I'm gonna use this again. I have a really big waterproof pad that is extremely waterproof. I believe it's called a Gorilla Pad. Again, everything will be linked down below. This works so well, especially if you're considering doing diaper free. You wanna have things that you can quickly take off the bed and have another layer of something dry underneath right away, and nothing soaks through those Gorilla Pads. They're absolutely amazing. I think they're actually made for adult incontinence, but I've used them with Eli and they're truly waterproof. You can wash them all the time and they're still waterproof. Highly recommend that if you're looking into diaper free, or just if you want something on your changing table that is not going to leak through. Those are really great, and you can just strip them off if they've been wet on and have another layer of something else underneath. Next up is a mirror in your car, or like a little car mirror so you can see your baby while you're driving. This is really important to me because newborns face the back. You might be hearing sounds and you don't really know what's going on, but having that little car mirror behind you, like I can look in my rearview mirror and see the car mirror and see that the baby is okay. Newborns, have trouble holding their head up, so you want to make sure that they're, in a good position and they're not going to like choke or anything like that. So you want to really just keep an eye on them. That always gives me a little bit more peace of mind when I can look back, make sure the newborn is good even though they're facing back. So that's definitely essential to me. Next up is a Boppy. And before I got pregnant with Eli, I was like, what in the world is a Boppy? I've never even heard of these terms. There's so many random terms for all these like kid gadgets. But a Boppy is a breastfeeding pillow, and it basically just goes around your waist when you're breastfeeding and lifts the baby a little bit higher. Now, at first thought, especially if you're a new mom, you would think, well, that's pointless. I don't really need that. That's what I thought too. But I was given a hand-me-down Boppy and it has been so helpful. I use that for breastfeeding like for the longest time. Because if you think about it, when you're breastfeeding, if you're trying to go down to the baby, you're constantly hunching over, your shoulders, your neck get tight, your wrists start to get pain in them also, just from constantly twisting and holding the baby. But if you have a little bit of elevation, oh man, your posture's better, your baby's not tugging on your nipple, the latch is gonna be better, and it's just better for both of you. This invention is great in my opinion because it really is helpful with breastfeeding. If you plan on breastfeeding, you're gonna be breastfeeding very, very often. The majority of your days will be breastfeeding. Very, very helpful, very essential. I've got that same hand-me-down Boppy. It's not in the best condition in the world, but it works and that's what I needed to do. And so definitely very essential to me. Next up is kimono shirts. Kimono shirts are the way to go. Trying to put a shirt over the head of a newborn is difficult. Some newborns maybe are totally fine with that. I know Eli hated it. So the kimono shirts are just like what they sound like a kimono. There's a little button here, and then you have the other side and it buttons here. I have long sleeve and I have short sleeve. Of course, I'm giving birth when it's gonna be the middle of summer, so short sleeve during the day and long sleeve maybe at night, just for a little bit of extra protection. And the long sleeve ones actually have these little mittens that come over so that the baby doesn't scratch their face or anything like that. But if I'm swaddling, the arms are gonna be down anyways. The kimono shirts are really, really great. Unisex, and you can use them pretty much all the time. I feel like Eli lived in kimono shirts and just blankets for the first 4 months of his life. So it's probably gonna be pretty similar with our new baby as well. Very inexpensive and something that you can just wash. I have quite a few of them. You go through so much laundry and clothing initially with newborns. It's really like startling almost how often you have to do laundry, because there's spit up, there's pee, there's poop. There's so much going on that needs to be cleaned. So those I have an abundance of. My next essential is having a breast pump. Now, I was really quite against pumping with Eli, but as I returned to work part-time, I realized I did not have enough milk all the time. So this time around, I'm going to begin pumping a little bit earlier once my milk supply is established, once we're established with our breastfeeding routine, just so that I can have a store in my freezer. I actually got booked in a show when Eli was 3 months old, and it was such a stress for me to constantly be pumping like in between numbers in the show and like making sure that I had enough milk for him, because I did not have a supply built up. So this time around, I'm going to be pumping much earlier, and I just want to have a little freezer stash for my baby, and if I'm overproducing, maybe even to donate to some other mothers in need. I actually had to borrow milk from a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who offered it because I was working and I was away from my baby, but I didn't have enough milk to give him. And that's such like a stressful and horrible feeling. So this time around, I will begin to pump earlier, and I will begin to store up milk in the event that I will be needing to be away from the baby longer than I anticipated. I definitely believe in breastfeeding. I love breastfeeding. I think it's the best way to bond with your baby and a great way to nourish your baby. But there are times that I'm going to need to be away, and I want to be prepared for that. Next up is a noise machine. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is like, probably I should have started with this. This is like my #1 minimalist essential. A noise machine is so essential when you have a baby. If you think about a baby in the womb, there's lots of noises always going around. There's swishing of your intestines and bodily fluids in there. There's all kinds of noise. It's never actually quiet when the baby is in your womb. So once they come earthside and you put them down in a room, it's completely like jarringly silent. They need that white noise to kind of help them fall asleep, feel relaxed. And we were gifted with Eli one called Dome, and it has been the absolute best noise machine. I probably got like 3 hand-me-down noise machines, and they all broke and they all sucked, or they were startling, or I couldn't sleep with them. This one is so wonderful. Eli sleeps with it to this day, so it's about 2.5 years old. It works every single day for a nap and for night, and it's still not broken at all. So I got a second one for the newborn. So somebody gave me a gift card, and this was the thing that I bought with that for our next baby, because I believe it's so important. It really sets the mood. And also, if you're in another room and you accidentally drop something, which always happens when you're trying to be quiet, then the baby is not startled by that, because the white noise is just providing a little bit of a buffer. So I cannot say enough about this particular noise machine. If you're looking for a noise machine, look in the description down below for the link, because it's the best one I've ever tried. Next up, this won't be essential for everybody depending on where you live, but we live in the high desert. It's very dry here, like extremely dry. So my next one is a humidifier. And we've been using this humidifier for Eli and for ourselves, and we really enjoy it. And it's a bonus because it's a cool mist humidifier, but you can also put essential oils in. And I really like it because it has a high, a low, and a nighttime setting. And the nighttime setting is great because there's no additional light. You know, like when you have a humidifier on in the middle of the night, there's always like a green or a red light, and it's just a glow in your room. You want your room or wherever the baby is sleeping to be completely dark, so they start to associate when nighttime is and when daytime is. And so that night mode makes sure that there's gonna be enough water for the whole night through, as well as no extra light. And that leads me into my next newborn essential, which is actually a lavender oil. Lavender is a very calming essential oil. So I can put a couple drops into that humidifier as I'm putting the baby to sleep. It helps establish a nighttime routine, letting the baby know, okay, this smell is associated with calm and it's associated with nighttime, and now we're gonna go to sleep for the night. hopefully. But other reasons that I love lavender essential oil, it's a very multi-purpose essential oil to have for a newborn. Of course, check with your doctor or your midwife to see if it's right for you, but my midwife suggests using the lavender essential oil on the umbilical cord to help it just dry up and fall off. It's a very natural way to do that rather than putting an ointment that might be full of chemicals. You can also use diluted lavender oil if you're gonna do like a baby massage, if you have some oil that you'd like to put on your baby, and then a drop of lavender, mix that together, give the baby a massage. Because of the calming properties in lavender, it's a really great way to just establish that calm and that peace before nighttime. So lavender essential oil is a great one to have. Even if you have no essential oils, lavender is extremely multi-purpose and a great place to start. So those are my minimalist newborn essentials. And like I said, everybody's essentials are gonna be different. So don't take this as this is what you must have as a minimalist for your newborn. Everybody's different. Because I choose to do diaper-free, obviously my needs are gonna be different than somebody diapering. Because I choose to breastfeed, my needs will be different than somebody who's choosing to do formula. A fed baby is the best baby. A taken care of baby is the best baby. You're gonna find out what's gonna work best for you, and you're gonna find out what your essentials are. If you're a brand new mom, or if you've had multiple births, you're gonna know what works for you and your baby. I'm curious, let me know your essentials for newborns down below and what you find essential. So this is just my list, but I'm super curious, what have been your essential items? Write them down in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you know when I have new videos coming out. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.